There's a town you cannot leave once you enter. Roads bend back on themselves, signs lie, and when the sun goes down, the night hunts. As evening settles in, Sheriff Boyd walks the empty street ringing a bell. The sound means one thing: get inside or die. Everyone knows the rules, but Frank, he didn't make it home. He was drunk. While he stumbles through the dark, his wife rushes to lock their house. Upstairs, their little girl hears a soft voice outside her window. It says it is her grandmother. It sounds warm. It sounds kind. The voice asks to be let in. Before her mother can stop her, the window opens. The smile outside is wrong.
Baby, no!
By morning, the house is silent. Far from this nightmare, a family drives through open country, arguing over music and directions. Jim and Tabitha Matthews are on a road trip with their kids, Julie and Ethan trying to heal old wounds. Then, a fallen tree blocks the road. No warning, no way around it. They turn back and take a detour. The detour leads straight into the town. At first, it feels normal, quiet, too quiet. Boyd stops them and tells them to keep driving. Just follow the road. It will take them out. They do as told. 5 minutes later, they pass the same broken sign again and again. Panic builds. The road refuses to let them go.
No, this is impossible. We didn't go in a circle that time.
Another car appears out of nowhere and a crash follows. People rush in from the town, dragging the injured from wreckage. Boyd stays behind with the doctor, Christy, trying to save Ethan's shattered leg. Others run, knowing what comes next. A spike strip shreds a tire. There is no time to fix it. They abandon the car and sprint toward a massive house on the hill. As darkness falls, shapes step out of the trees. The doors of Colony House slam shut as the creatures gather outside, unmoving and watching. Boyd, Christy, and Jim struggle to keep Ethan alive in the RV, while footsteps circle through the woods and whispers call Jim's name. No one chooses this town. Some arrived decades ago, some yesterday, and no one ever leaves. The creatures move like humans until they strike, patient, precise, enjoying fear.
Hey.
Boyd shows the talismans, carved stones that block them if placed inside sealed buildings. At the clinic, Sarah follows the voices she alone can hear, spilling blood and opening doors to screams. Morning comes over broken bodies. Kenny finds his father dead. Boyd carries the Matthews into town, guilt pressing him harder than any burden. Outside, Ethan sees a boy in white standing where no one should be. He does not move. He does not speak. He only watches, and Ethan knows this place is not done with them. Jade wakes angry, not scared. He decides the town is fake because believing that gives him control. Donna shuts that down fast. People arrive here, they don't leave, and the rules don't care what you believe. Father Kotri explains the choice everyone must make: live alone behind locked doors or give up privacy and stay in Colony House. There is no safe option, only different risks.
Are you guys individual hires, or is this one of those traveling companies?
In the middle of town stands the box. Anyone put inside is left overnight with no protection. It has only been used once. Tonight, it will be used again. Frank's mistake killed his family. Boyd tries to stop what comes next. Frank refuses mercy. He wants the punishment. Choosing day splits the newcomers. Julie walks away from her family and into Colony House. Jim and Tabitha take a house that still feels occupied by loss. Jade causes trouble and gets dragged away before he makes things worse. When night passes, the box is empty. No one asks what happened inside. As a child, Victor survives a night where almost everyone else doesn't. A boy in white appears when the screaming stops and asks him to play. Victor follows him. Years later, Ethan recognizes that boy from Victor's drawings. Victor goes quiet.
You remember the boy that you were talking about?
Jade learns the town has no fixed location. Maps fail. Distances don't hold. A radio crackles once, then dies. Jade takes it anyway. Colony House turns out to be harder than Julie expected. Nothing is private. Regret spreads fast. She confronts Tabitha, dragging the truth about the baby they lost and the marriage already breaking apart into the open. Victor takes Ethan into the woods and shows him a tree that doesn't work like a tree. Things thrown inside don't land where they should. Jim and Tabitha search for their son and end up surrounded by wild dogs until Victor scares them off. Sarah hears a voice tell her what must be done. Her body reacts before her mind does. Victor starts digging graves. Sarah wakes up calmer than she should be. Boyd notices patterns others don't want to name. Seizures, tremors, his own hand shaking when he isn't afraid. This place doesn't just watch people, it alters them.
Is there anything else going on that we should know about?
Sarah asks Christy a question with a sharp edge. Would one terrible act be worth everyone going home? Christy doesn't say no. Jade and Jim reach the same thought from different places. Maybe the crash killed them. Maybe this is what comes after. Nothing here disproves it. Sarah locks Tabitha in a barn. Ethan is next. Nathan tries to stop her and finally tells the truth about the voices. The struggle is fast and messy. The blade slips. Nathan bleeds out on the floor.
Let me go! You don't understand!
Outside, the graves are ready. Sarah is kept underground. Not as punishment, but as protection. Though no one is sure who she needs protection from anymore. Khatri grows convinced the town is testing them on purpose, changing its rules as people break or survive. When the voices reveal a secret only he knows, belief turns into fear.
You can still help the people of this town.
Boyd prepares to cross the forest line with only a talisman, quietly admitting to Kenny that his body is failing him, while Jim and Jade rip apart old cars to revive a radio that gives them only static, strange symbols, and visions that shouldn't exist. As Tabitha digs beneath her house searching for answers, a lonely man at Colony House convinces himself one of the creatures is different, not realizing that trust is exactly how the town kills.
When can I come inside?
Khatri finally tells Boyd about Sarah and the voices, and instead of backing away, Boyd pulls her closer, deciding that if the forest holds answers, then the truth will demand witnesses. Jim pushes a different gamble, one that risks everything the town has left, a real radio tower built from scraps and belief, while the digging under his house turns from curiosity into obsession.
Seriously, man, I don't know why you keep staring at that thing.
I'm sorry, hold on.
Jade uncovers a photograph that freezes him in place, proof that Victor has been here far longer than anyone admits, long enough to be a child in someone else's past. As tension builds, Colony House tries to remember how to be human for one night, celebrating Fatima's survival anniversary with music, jealousy, and small betrayals that feel harmless until they aren't. Kevin opens a window because he wants to be chosen, and the moment he does, the night pours in. The house becomes a slaughterhouse, residents torn apart while the rest flee in panic, splitting into groups that may never reconnect. Alice and Fatima survive by sealing themselves behind a talisman, while Victor drags Julie into the forest and sends her through a tree that does not obey distance or logic. When the survivors reach the sheriff's station, relief lasts only seconds before one of the creatures walks straight through the door and kills Khatri, silencing the man who thought he understood the story being written.
Pray with me. Okay, pray with me.
The past finally answers some of the present, showing Boyd arriving years earlier with his family just ahead of nightfall, confused, hopeful, and unprepared. Back then, Khatri and Donna taught him how the town worked, and Boyd responded by turning fear into order, mapping resources, organizing people, and pushing himself so hard that he stopped seeing his wife fall apart. On a routine trip into the woods, Boyd got lost and survived the night by accident, hiding in a cave where he discovered the talismans and brought them back as salvation. But survival came at a cost. By the time he returned, Abby was convinced none of this was real, and that killing everyone would wake them up. Boyd was forced to choose between his town and his son, and the gunshot that saved Ellis never stopped echoing.
What's going on, Adam?
In the present, father and son finally speak honestly about that night just before Boyd leaves again, this time with Sarah, while Kenny steps into leadership he never wanted. Back in town, the plan for the radio tower becomes official, fragile hope resting on wires, timing, and the belief that someone, somewhere, might be listening.
Sooner we can all go home.
Boyd and Sarah travel farther than anyone has dared, using the cave as a marker before pushing into a forest that feels older and less patient. They find a tree decorated with glass bottles, each holding scraps of paper from different times, including one dated over a century ago, suggesting the town has been feeding on people for generations. Sarah collapses again, this time hearing a voice she doesn't recognize, warning that the monsters are not the worst thing waiting in the woods and that Boyd's plan has already crossed a line.
Sure, that's a good idea.
When she wakes, she calls Boyd by a name only his wife ever used.
She kept saying, "Tell Mr. Fish and Loaves that I was wrong."
And before he can demand answers, something unseen attacks their tent, stopping only when a blinding light and a deep horn cut through the forest. Back in town, the radio tower rises but stalls without power, until Jade realizes the town's impossible electricity can be redirected, even if no one understands where it comes from or who controls it. Wires are stripped from homes as the storm rolls in, tension splitting the town between hope and dread. Ellis proposes to Fatima as if anchoring himself to tomorrow might make it real, while Kenny reaches for comfort and gets rejection instead. In the forest, Boyd and Sarah follow the horn to a lighthouse, passing through webs and shadows until Boyd is bitten by spiders that blur his thoughts and weaken his resolve, forcing Sarah to become the one who keeps them moving. When the radio finally crackles to life, Jim hears a human voice say his name.
Jim Matthews.
Then warns him that Tabitha should stop digging, a warning that comes too late as the basement collapses and drops her into tunnels where Victor explains the monsters rest during the day. At the lighthouse, the boy in white appears again, directing Sarah to a tree that leads somewhere else. She makes a choice Boyd never would, pushing him inside and sending him somewhere unknown as the tree seals behind him. Back at the diner, just as panic and silence settle, a bus pulls into town carrying new lives toward a place that never lets go. And that's where Season 1 ends, with more questions than answers and the town tightening its grip. If you want to follow what happens next, like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss Season 2.